Hello everyone, this is Richie here, and we're gonna show you two videos like as a supplement for the article I just wrote about turning from Affinity to Burn. And these videos are pre-recorded, so they were just my everyday practice or everyday games, and I just noticed that they were really good to show how to deal with Leyline of Sanctity, which is considered like the silver bullet for this deck for a very long time. It's like the same you got with Stony Silence and Affinity, but in my opinion, given the fact that your creature base has expanded over the time, Leyline doesn't pose as big as a threat as it used to be when Goblin Guide was your only creature. And the funny thing in this game is you will notice is that we're going to mulligan down to a very, very critical amount of cards and still manage to win the game somehow. So this was my starting hand here. We got two Monastery Swift Spears with Lightning Bolt and two Eidolons, which seem extremely crazy if the Rift Bolt would have been a second land. Uh, but it isn't, so I decided to mulligan this card, this hand, just because one land is uh, way too less here. So the next hand we got was this one, which is the absolute opposite of the previous one. We got four lands, and I don't really like to keep four lands even with my seven card opening hands. So I didn't want to keep this one as well. And the next one, which was the second mulligan, just punished me again with a hand that hasn't got any lands. So we had to bite the bullet and mulligan down to four, and this is what we got. And I just want to give you the advice that when you mulligan down to five cards, you just keep every borderline playable hand. So you just really you can be glad if you keep one basic land or even a basic land and some burn spells. So in this case, I decided to keep the hand. We got Mountain, Skullcrack, Lava Monster, and Lava Spike, and yeah, of course, we got the Leyline of Sanctity. We did know about this previously because it's a Patriot control deck, so blue, white, red control. I don't know what the English expression is. In Austria we just say UVR. So of course he has the Leyline, which is extremely bad with this hand because my Lavamancer can only attack for one. The ability is useless. The Skullcrack doesn't do anything, and the Lava Spike is like the worst burn spell here. And we also got a basic mountain, which is absolutely no, which has no other color, and opponent plays nothing here. Um, and we start with our first turn. We get the Destructive Revelry rewarded in. So now I know, okay, I just need a green mana source, and then I can get rid of the ley line and burn my opponent down. So I play the mountain, which is the only play. I could have played the Grim Lava Monster at this point, but I chose to not to, just because I want to see what my opponent's up to. And yeah, it might be a gameplay error that I didn't play the Lava Monster. I just tried to make it sound like I was having a plan what to do. He plays his land, does nothing. He absolutely relies on the fact that he has Leyline, and therefore I cannot do anything against it. And we get a Shard Warrior, which is also useless. So we just skip the turn. We play the Lava Mountain now, of course, because I saw that. Oh, we just jumped one. I got a second. Yeah, alright. I played Lava Monster, and he responded with a Path to Exile, giving me a second mountain, so we didn't get punished very much for not playing the Lava Monster turn earlier. because it would have been removed anyway, but it was a bad play after all. Alright, let's just see what happens next. Um, yeah, we get an Autarchus command, which which is really handy if the opponent does Sphinx Revelation, which is one of the worst spells they could play against us, just because they get their counter spells, and of course they have life gain. So opponent basically what he's doing is just bulking up on lands and keeping the counter spells most likely. And I guess now is the time where we're going to draw our next mana source, if I remember. No, really, we get a second Autarchus command. So this is really funny now, because when I draw a fetch land, and I will, I just can fetch for Stomping Ground and practically have three Skull Crack effects that prevent life gain. So I draw the Tarka, pass the turn, and now the opponent does something, if I remember correctly, in this turn. Uh, no, it will be the next turn. My memory is very weak now, I realize. Okay, we get another Boros Charm, so we're up to 7 lands, okay, so 7 cards. Okay, and the opponent does, I think it's in this turn, where the opponent does something we have discussed with Stavros for a very long time in our Modern Mastery. No, it's next turn. In our Modern Mastery podcast, what we will do is, in fact, play a Myth Realized, which will be his Doom. Okay, and here is the thing I wanted to show you. The reason why I uploaded this video. You see, now I got the Wooded Foothills. And my only chance of winning this game by any means is to resolve the Destructive Revelry. So I have 49 cards in my library and 3 copies of the Revelry in my deck. So the chance of drawing another one is rather small. So I thought, okay, there isn't any threat on the board now. I'm not really in a rush. It's true that my opponent has 2 cards in his hand, but if one of them is, even if it's a soft counter like Mana Leak, I'm absolutely screwed because I cannot do anything against it. So I decided just to play the waiting game, which is really a pain when you are the burn player. So regarding the fact that I have 8 cards in my hand, I played the Wooded Foothills, and I bluffed that I don't have any answers to Leyline of Sanctity. So we just have this laying down with a handful of absolute devastation. And yeah, now we get to the turn where Myth Realized is going to hit the battleground. Yeah, here we are. Okay, this is the card. Show you in big. This is one we discussed with Stavros. It was my pick of the set. Sadly, I haven't seen any blue, white, red control players using this. So when we talked about Narset catapulting this deck to new heights, it didn't happen yet. But this guy here tried the Myth Realized, which I think is a very nice trial, very nice inclusion just to test it out. And this was the moment where I made my evil plan that I will just pass my turn. I'm at 6 cards now, and I'm sure that at end of turn uh, he's going to activate Myth Realized. So I fetch my Wooded Foothills for Stomping Ground. This might have been a little bit of a risky move because I gave away that I need the green source more than my white source. But yeah, I probably shouldn't have done this, but this is very high level play when you are considering this to be a fact, but maybe I won't do this again. So anyway, we draw another Atarka, and basically when we remove the Leyline of Sanctity, um, we are in full burn shape. Notice also please that we could have played Atarka's command earlier, but I just didn't want to, because Atarka's command doesn't target. You have the text. It just deals 3 damage to each opponent, so you will see it in in the next video I'm going to show you. I just wanted to play slowly. I knew that he had mid-realized, and I just wanted to play the slow game because I knew that uh, uh, I have so much burn in the hand, and with 2 cards in his hand, he cannot counter or cancel all of my spells out. So yeah, therefore this is the crucial turn 7. Um, I did nothing, and therefore I would have to discard. Let's just jump right there. Okay, here we are. Okay, second main phase. Yeah. And now in the end step, my opponent activates his Myth-Realized because he thinks that he's safe with his Leyline and tries to go into the damage race. And exactly in this moment, when he is tapped out, when Myth-Realized is on the stack, it's the perfect time to play Destructive Revelry and start punishing and killing your opponent, which practically happened. So we got the Revelry on the Leyline. Uh, Even if I drew a second one, it would have been nice because I can burn the Myth-Realized down. And from here on out, it was just a damage dealing sort of thing. My opponent has 3 cards in his hand, which is fatal when you are a control player or trying to counter your opponent's spells. Um, yeah, so let's just watch the rest of this video or the game. So we have everything we really want. The only thing that is missing might be a second fetch land or a Sacred Foundry to get Boros Charm out, but I think that we get this later on, so we start burning now. We play a Lava Spike, completely unanswered by our opponent, and of course we keep our 2 mana for a Tarkar's command open, just in case the opponent has some crazy life-gaining spells, um, like Timely Reinforcements or what do I know? Really no clue, but it would be absolutely it would be absolutely idiotic to play the instance which deny the opponent life gain. Play it in the main phase. So opponent packed down a Sacred Foundry, and the fact that this one comes down tapped tells us 2 things. One is that he knows that he is on the shorter side of the damage race, which is absolutely clear here. And the other one is that he doesn't have anything costing 5 mana, so we're pretty safe here. In the end step, I think we played an Atarka's command, or I played. I don't know why I keep saying we played, because I played and you just watch here. Yeah, I played an Atarka's command, which can be misleading for my opponent, who might think, okay, he is playing his rather good spells first, so I might have a little bit of a window where I can get some life from out of something. But as we know, of course, we have 3 Skullcrack effects left. So we were really lucky, and here is a Sacred Foundry. So we have everything we want. We, we can play the 2 land spells and have a green-red backup for Atarkas. So in this case, I even didn't care about the 2 life. We're in the absolute great damage. raise. So here I decided to do nothing because all of my stuff are instant, and of course he has his myth realized, and it's um, I think there is the English people know a word for it. It's Sackswang or Zugzwang, as we say in German. Uh, it's the need to uh, get an action out. So he has to do something with his myth realized. You see, it is rotting with only one counter there, and he might try to keep his mana up for cryptic command or whatever. So in my end step, he does nothing. No, he 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 doesn't dare to activate his myth realized, which is of course smart in some way because then I would just clash out my Boros charm just for punishing him. Now he plays Steam Vent, so he might do just another land. Of course, too afraid to take the 2 damage, or he might just need the mana. And okay, this was it. So he just laid the Steam Vents out and considered the game. Um, he's still on 3 cards, even though if the 3 cards would have been 3 counter spells, we could have won this match easily. Uh, it is just too much to handle. Um, of course, he could have drawn another Leyline of Sanctity. Um, then we just would have had to wait for another Revelry. Of course, it would have been much harder, um, much harder to get it around the counter spells. Um, I just want to point out one little play error. You might have noticed it. In the end of turn step where I played Autarkas, it would have been smarter to play the Skullcrack, just in case the opponent doesn't, just in case if the opponent top decks Leyline, then we still have 9 damage in our hand, which cannot be prevented by Leyline, and Skullcrack would have been out. So this is something you should always think about, that Autarka does not target. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. Um, check out the next one, which is a little bit more exciting, I might say, because you will see how we play around 2 Leylines and 3 Tazigors. So join me next time. Ugark.